Hey, Nathan here, helping you become a better jungler. This is going to be the Jungler Perspective Patch 10.5 Notes Rundown. About a day overdue on this. I was working pretty hard this week on my Xin guide that I have released. It's over 2 hours long. Pretty excited about it, and other people are pretty excited about it as well. So if you haven't checked that out, link in the description below, or just go onto my channel and check out the last video. Definitely put a lot of effort into that. I think that if you're new to Xin, new to the jungle, it'll give you a very good fresh perspective, and I do recommend Xin as one of your starting champs. So jumping into patch 10.5 again from the jungler's perspective, my channel's all about jungling. I will go over laners a little bit, but that's going to be again from the way I view them as a jungler. I don't play them myself. Okay, so Right's little blurb thing here, they say this patch we're addressing the 0CS top lane playstyle. So yeah, definitely I just did not enjoy this at all as a jungler. I wasn't sure whether to sometimes camp it, whether sometimes to ignore it. Really frustrating stuff. I just don't think it's healthy in the game for League. They did try and help the try and make changes to it last patch, but it's still a problem, and it's great that they're addressing it again. We will need to see exactly again the specifics what they're trying to change about it. Current pro play mainstays Ornn and Set. Seen some nerfs. So Ornn, I think that's great. Set, I mean, maybe a little on the strong sides. I think he's closer to the balance side. You can definitely deal with him as a jungler, but obviously there's the Set jungle as well. I will talk a little bit about that when we get down to him. But I definitely think Ornn, welcome nerfs. He just is doing too much damage for a tank, especially with the Sunfire changes that happened last patch, on top of the Cinderhawk ones. Okay, some Bud fixes. We don't play Zillion. Gragas, the cooldown from Barrel Roll now properly starts when throws his cast, now when it explodes. I mean, that's obviously a bug. It's great that they're changing it, but obviously a little change there. That's a good fix. I mean, I definitely want my cooldown to be working properly when I, use my Q. Alright, so these are the patch highlights. So, buffs, Alistar, support champion, Graves, jungler, cool. I really liked Graves. I think he's a lot of fun. Does have his problems. The fact with Graves is, I mean, you definitely need to be a very selfish sort of carry jungler. You're not very much supportive at all. You don't have any CC tools. So he does that sort of is his weakness. I mean, in terms of the jungle position in general, I feel like that junglers are more suited to be like high pressure early. I mean, this is more in the high elo stages, but Graves I think does still work. And we'll have to see the buffs as well. So that's going to be pretty interesting, pretty excited about that. Kai'Sa ADC. Kayn has his playstyle is very defined. See what the buffs are specifically to this, but I do think that he needs a little bit more work just to make him actually more fun to play, because I really don't enjoy playing Kayn, his playstyle. Obviously, it's very much in terms of farm till 6 and then try and get your form as soon as possible, and then it's literally just concede everything. It's just not that fun in terms of the first 10 minutes of the game, because it's just so much is out of your control as a jungler. You feel like I really think you do need to impact the game early. Lissandra mid, Nico mid / support, Sivir ADC, and Sona. I mean, I assume the Sona stuff here, this is for the going back up here, the 0CS top lane strategy stuff. Okay, nerfs. Amumu, no idea what's going on here. He was buffed last patch. The only thing I can think here, obviously I play more in high elo. Amumu actually does have a pretty good win rate in low elo. I think he's actually pretty good there. But I think that he should be getting nerfs. I mean, again, we'll take a look at these. Bard. A Bard is a super annoying champion to play against specifically. A good Bard player will literally just destroy you as a jungler. Makes it very hard to gank, especially with his little portal thing. Blitzcrank, Ornn, great. Rammus. This is interesting again, sort of similar, going back to the Amumu thing. Not sure what is going on here. Actually, I do need to get out my pen as well that I've just realized I don't have. Get some circling. Okay, yeah, so Rammus and Set there talking a bit about his jungle power as well, so we'll need to see those nerfs. So some skins, that is actually really cool, the Black Frost Rek'Sai thing there. I love that. Especially as I'm a bit of a Rek'Sai player as well there, and Hextech Adwani. The Hexen skins are all pretty cool. So some good junglers here. Awesome. Love it. Okay, getting into it now. Alistar. Health reduced, increased. So he's getting buffed. Yes, that's right. He's getting buffed. So Alistar, obviously, I love ganking Alistar lanes. He obviously has great setup for you. A little bit annoying to verse, but I think that Alistar's a healthy champion in League of Legends in general. I think he's very much, I mean, there is some sort of skill element to it, the WQ combo, and just sort of the way you want to peel, your AD carries or look to engage. Like, there is some skills where, even though, it's pretty simple and has been, his WQ combo has been easier to do over the last couple of years. But I do like Alistar in the meta. I think that the bot lane sort of meta is just getting a bit stale right now, and I think bringing Alistair back's just going to be more fun. Okay, this is the Amumu. So pulling back the power gave him 10.4, and it is his ult. And this is the thing that they shouldn't be touching. His ult is Amumu, and they're just reverting it again. This was what I was excited about last patch. So, I mean, again, I'm thinking more of a higher US perspective. This is obviously, I mean, Riot wouldn't make these changes unless, I mean, I assume he's doing well, probably lower elos. So his ultimate has been increased in the early stages. But at level 3, it's still 100 seconds, but you're never going to be getting to... I mean, if you get into level 16 as a Mumu, you're probably going to win the game, honestly, because he actually is a really, really good scaling tank. Okay, Bard. So this is really small, actually. Interesting. I mean, this is like 3 difference in terms of damage. I don't think this is going to change much. Blitzcrank, this is another pretty small one, 37 armor. I mean, Blitzcrank's not picked because he just has like a little bit of extra armor. He's picked because gets the hook off. Obviously, he's going to tank a lot of things with Aftershock. I mean, this nerf there's a tiny little nerf, but I don't think this matters this much. Graves. Okay, so Riot says here, Graves has been weak for the higher tier play and middling for everyone else. Definitely agree with this here. Definitely sort of better as a carry lower elo pick because you are very selfish. You can carry the game because obviously the junglers you're versing aren't going to really know how to capitalize on Graves' early weaknesses. So giving him back some magic resist we pulled off his E as well as buff aim to help both his jungling and laning. So, I mean, this is not what I want to be hearing. Magic resist. So this is obviously, I mean, obviously it's going to help you versus junglers like Gragas, Echo, Elise, Eve. But, I mean, this is not really... I mean, most junglers you're versing are AD. I mean, I guess it sort of helps you against, like, the tank ones as well, like Zac and stuff. They do some bit of magic damage. Zac, Sedge, I guess Amumu as well. Q end of line. So they are reducing the mana cost here for it. And the cooldown. So I guess the mana cost is okay. I mean, still pretty small change. I mean, it could be maybe the difference between getting off a... like, say you just gank a lane and you want a Q to push in the wave. Like, this might be the little bit difference there. But it also is going to help his jungle clear as well. Because obviously you can be a little bit more... Just Q Raptor Camp, Q Krug, just Q everything. Even Q your buffs. Because sometimes you don't want to actually Q your buffs. Especially when you don't have blue buff. Because it does chunk up, you know, some mana. If you're looking to gank after it. Alright, Kai'Sa. Not going to cover too much about this. She's an ADC champ. And Kayn. Okay. Smoothing out Kayn's transformation rule so he's not punished due to confusion or complexity. We're adding a slight buff to his catching ability to overall make him easier to succeed with. So a decaying slow, I mean, it's up to 70%. This is pretty minor. I don't feel like that's going to make too much of a difference. Obviously helps. And the other thing is here is his form. So originally increased at 8 and 12 minutes. This is obviously getting your form pretty quickly, but now it's going to increase constantly every second after 5 minutes, flattening out at 13 minutes. So this is pretty good. We're going to be getting our forms a bit quicker. I think this is pretty okay, but you're still, I mean, 5 minutes, you've lost your whole early game, potentially lost the dragon still. So yeah, again, I think that this is still going to make Kayn a little bit... I mean, me personally, if you're a Kayn player, you're obviously very adaptive and you know how to minimize early game, but me personally, I just feel like... what's this? I don't care about this. We still obviously have those early game problems that Kayn does suffer with, especially getting like Rift Scuttlers and stuff early. Alright, Lissandra, slight buff, Nico, some buffs, again, mid lane, some AP ratios. Ornn, okay, so Ornn also is another thing to note, is actually potentially people have been trying him out in the jungle. Ornn, I haven't exactly tried it. I definitely think he's better suited in the top lane. I just feel like he's just very clunky in terms of a jungle. He just doesn't feel right. But what they're saying here is we're lowering his damage a bit, and I definitely agree. Absolutely had to happen. But I don't think that these changes are too much. I mean, obviously you're still going to be building Sunfire, so that's still going to be getting that damage off, which was significant. Upgrade now to level 13. Upgrade. So this is more the upgrade stuff. So really, this in terms of like the actual sort of playstyle that he has more in like his laning and like ganking him early and stuff, like this actually doesn't change too much, to be honest. I mean, obviously the brutal proc damage has been nerfed a bit, but I think that he's still definitely going to be very strong. He's definitely not going to take Ornn out of the picture at all as a top laner. Rammus wasn't actually okay like we thought, so they reverted their attack speed, and I think Rammus needed so much help. I'm actually probably going to take a look at the Rammus win rates off this because I don't understand this. I actually love playing Rammus. I feel just so, especially like in terms of like, so Rammus is only a champion that you're either going to be picking into basically full AD comps, right? So it's a great counter for that. But I'd like to maybe be looking to pick him more into mixed team comps. Maybe add in some sort of thing about AP damage somewhere. I mean, I don't know what they need to do to Rammus to make him like viable, but I think that the attack speed, I mean, this helped his clear. I mean, this is the last thing you need to be, I mean, again, nerfing on him. Like, he needs some buffs, you know? So this is pretty disappointing to see. You can probably hear the disappointment in my voice. Set, base armor, health regen, and health regen growth decrease, R slow duration decrease. So while he's mostly shown off in the top lane, set his show stoppingly strong in the jungle. I haven't seen this, honestly, in my games in high elo. I'm not sure again what it's like in lower elos, but definitely can still work as a jungler. I do think he's better in the top lane in general. I mean, this is going to hurt his jungle clearing a little bit. Armor 33 now, health regen. And this is the R showstopper. 1 second to target and all enemies in the impact area from 1.5 seconds. So obviously a little bit of a nerf here, but I still think he's going to be good and still viable in the jungle. Sivir, ADC champ. I like Sivir in the meta here and there. I like, obviously, Sivir as a jungler when I'm playing engaged champs, when I'm playing like Olaf and stuff like that. I love playing with Sivir. She can speed you up. She's like a really fun sort of support champion. She actually is pretty good in lane because I love, like, Sivers can minimize in lane, but you can also maybe use them as carry threats as well. Especially like lanes like Sivir, Braum lanes and stuff. Okay, Sona. We're reverting the mid-patch 10.4 changes since we decided to go forward with the changes to tribute support question line, including the spell thieves edges patch. This is again addressing the 0 CS strategy. All in all, should bring her back to respectable levels in her main lane and keep her out of the top lane for good. Love it. Good work, Riot. Alright, out of range cast changes. When you try to cast an ability outside of its max range, one of two things happen. Alright, we don't actually play any of these champions, so I don't even know what that feels like for the out of range cast changes, so it doesn't really matter. Jungle champions. Okay, so obviously the last patch, the big news was all these new jungle champions that Riot are trying to push in the jungle by making that your clears better. Darius, I was pretty like adamant on being okay, but actually playing him, his clear was actually pretty not good. So I think that this is okay, but in general, I still don't think that these are, again, I think that Mordekai's and Darius specifically are better lower elo picks, but in terms of high elo, these champions are just, their ganks are just so weak, honestly. And I do think that I did feel a big difference not taking Conqueror on Darius, and I was trying the Predator and stuff like that. You're just like so weak. So I think that this is good. Again, Riot's taking the right approach here. I do agree with this. Interesting one here is now Poppy is getting some love in the jungle, and Poppy was always actually traditionally a really interesting niche pick in the jungle. There's some Poppy one-trick junglers that were actually pretty annoying to deal with, and I'm actually pretty excited about this, and this is actually a pretty significant buff. So Hammer Shock, max health damage, camp versus non-camps, now 50, 80, 100, all the way up to 170 here. So pretty exciting, and I might this might be enough for me to actually be trying out Poppy and actually playing her and getting experience on her, potentially making a jungle guide for her this season. So I do like this. I think Poppy is a champion. She can get out of control very damn quickly, and even going back to the Cinderhulk changes as well, like this is actually going to be pretty good for her, I think. So maybe she's going to be sneaker OP, hidden OP. All right, top lane significance. Turret plating. Plates grant more gold, take more damage from melee champs. Alright, this is great for junglers. A lot of junglers are melee champs and more resilient to group pushes. Okay, that's fine. But I'm just thinking more about this in terms of... I mean, obviously as a jungler, it's more bot focus. Bot focus. But obviously there always was even beforehand as well for melee champs. In general, got the turret plates quicker. So this is going to be good for making top a really good win condition and just breaking that tower, opening up the map for him. I talk a lot about this in terms of my Xin Zhao guide. So this is technically a even buff to Xin Zhao based on the material I talk about in the guide there. So more turret plates there. So if we're breaking turret plates top, it's going to be easier. All right, so definitely like this. I mean, this is obviously going to help for if you're forced to make top of win condition, we're going to be benefited from it more than previously. So this is pretty good. Blade of the Ruined King, we don't really build this at all. Ravenous Hydra, we don't really build this. We do build Titanic Hydra on champs like Warwick. So this is pretty cool. We're buffing Titanic Hydra's health scan to increase the threat it presents in HP heavy builds. So I mean, in terms of other Tiamat junglers, you've got like obviously Trundle's the one there, but I've made some Trundle videos. I think he's much better built tank than the Tiamat build. Obviously, it's good for carrying early, but really it's only Warwick. I guess Shaco, but Shaco doesn't really build Titanic Hydra. He doesn't finish that item off. He's more sits on Tiamat for a while. But I think this is pretty good buff for potentially Warwick. So, especially the fact that you are going to be building Cinderhawk, it scales obviously off health. That's good for Warwick. He's going to be building. So, there was actually a guard that I saw from a high elo Warwick player. He actually went Warrior. And there's actually been a lot of conversation about Warwick, especially on my Discord as well, around the W max versus Q max. I don't have a definitive answer because I haven't played it enough to really test these things out. This is what I'll address in like the 2-hour guide that I do on Warwick. But yeah, I think that this is obviously a buffed more to Cinderhawk if you can potentially go the Warrior as well as Warwick. But I do, in general, from what I've played and what I feel like on Warwick, is better built sort of tank because he is a full melee champ at the end of the day. Alright, so this is the Spell Thief's Edge here. Removing support items from being used in solo lanes. Love it, love it, love it. Boots of Mobility, nerf here, so you don't really build this. I'm actually surprised it was sort of nerfed. Obviously, this is more aimed at mid laners like the Talons, the Kianas, and stuff like that. So I think this is okay, an extra 100 gold for them. Definitely, I'll take this if versing those champs can be annoying. But obviously you're not going to be building this much on junglers. Boots of Swiftness. So these are my favorite boots of all time. Coming from a Season 3 Challenger Udyr tank player who built Swiftness boots every game. Love it. I love Swiftness boots. I think they're so good. But you miss out on a lot of tankiness, obviously, not building Merc Treads. Obviously, you have the option for Tenacity. So I don't think that these tiny little 5 movement speed buff changes are going to change much. I'd love this to see this at like 65, honestly. Maybe 70s might be pushing it too far, but... Or maybe adding something else to it, like slow, like further slow reduction or something like that. Or, I mean, increase move speed percentage based on your current move speed, so it scales better with like champs like Heck and, again, Udyr, obviously. I mean, not sure what they can do with this, but I don't think this makes them viable at all. Alright, ARAM balance changes. There's no jungle in ARAM. We don't care about that. Some bug fixes and the skins. So that's going to be it for this patch 10.5 rundown. Again, these skins look awesome. I love the battle Black Frost Rek'Sai, definitely going to be buying that. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions around 10.5. I mean, just some minor changes in here. A lot of these patches have sort of been minor changes here and there. Obviously, we did have some big ones a couple of patches ago, especially the last one with the jungle champ changes, but I think that felt not like a big patch. I didn't feel like much difference in my games in 10.4, especially the effect of the jungle pool in high elo. So, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in my next video.